Hey guys, Mr. Inyard here. This is morning work for Wednesday, week 30. Let's do it. So now they're not giving us the proportion. This is week 30 Wednesday. We're transferring or converting feet to inches. And so if you watch Monday and Tuesday, you'll get a lot more detail. But a proportion is a relationship between two things that are different units, but they're of equal length or equal size or equal value. So a foot, right? In 1 foot, how many inches are there? 12 inches. So that's our proportion. Now, which unit is bigger, inches or feet? Well, feet are bigger, right? Feet are bigger because 1 foot is the same size as 12 inches. So if we had a ruler, right, that ruler could be cut into sixths and then twelfths. And now we have each of these little guys, the little tiny pieces are inches, and the whole thing is a foot. So feet are bigger, which means it's going to take more of these inches to equal the same amount of feet. So we're going to do 26 times our magic number in our proportion, which is 12. So I got 312 inches, which another little tidbit here is why the metric system is so much simpler, because who can do times 12 all of a sudden? Not many. But if this was just times 100, if we went from centimeters or from meters to centimeters, so it'd be times 100, we just put 2 zeros at the end, right? Or just move the decimal over to the right twice. So anyway, there's that. All right, so what does QT mean? Quart, right? Quart, and that's an A. How many quarts are in a gallon, or how many gallons are in a quart? Which one's bigger? Gallons are bigger, right? So we're going to do 1 gallon. And how many quarts are in a gallon? How many quarters are in a dollar? 4. So 4 quarts equals a gallon. And so if we have 4 gallons, which is our bigger unit, we're moving to our smaller unit, remember? So if we have this, we cut it into fourths. Each of these little pieces are the quarts, right? And the whole thing is the gallon. So if for every gallon we're going to have 4 quarts, if we have 4 gallons, we're going to multiply that by the 4 quarts and get 16 quarts. So if you remember, interquartile range is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And since we know what quartile 3 is, it's 17.5. And we know what quartile 1 is at 12, and that would just be 0.0. We're simply going to subtract them and get an interquartile range of 5.5. So to make a box plot, step 1 is to draw a number line, and yes, those weird symbols that were down there are supposed to be a number line, so I drew over them with my white pen and then drew my own number line from 5 to 20, because my minimum is 6 and 5 is under 6, and I like using 5s, right? 5s or 2s, nice small round numbers, or nice round numbers, ending in 5s, 10s. I don't like to start at 6 and go to 16. It's just an odd number line. And then our maximum is 16, and so I need to go past 15. So I just went from 5 to 20, evenly split it up. Now I'm just going to put my dots for my minimum at 6, my maximum at 16. And then I'm going to draw my quartile 1 at 9, my quartile 2 at 10, and my quartile 3 at 15. I'll box those in, draw my lines, done. So according to the histogram on number 5, which is this from the bottom of week 36, remember it's where it's at. I just took a screenshot and I always have it in my photos. 121 to 125 is our interval, which is this one. It's how many girls were not height in centimeters. Were 121 to 125 centimeters tall. There was 3 girls. So we're just going to write the number 3. And then I'm just going to shrink this back down and squeeze it right in there. Okay, so this is one big jumble, but we've got 3 different area questions, 2 triangles and a parallelogram. So let's just answer them all. And let's assume that the 1 foot is our height and the 2 foot is our base for this one. So it would be 1 times 2 divided by 2, which of course is just going to be 1, because 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, and that's going to be feet squared. Since feet is our units, that goes here. All right, then we have 3 by 7. We're assuming that feet here goes there. Funny how this transferred over. Which is going to be 21. And then we're going to divide that by 2, which is going to give us a decimal, right? So it'd be 10.5. And that's feet squared for the triangle. Now parallelogram is just base times height. So we're just going to have 4.8 times 6. Remember, you just set it up like 48 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. And then we have 1 decimal place value in our problem, so we need 1 in our answer. So it's 28.8 meters squared for our parallelogram. All right, so since we can't really do 9 or 10, 10's out. Don't even try 10, because we don't have a coordinate grid. We don't have point D. All we have is this thing. We do have a trapezoid, and we do have some numbers we can make sense of. So I believe the 7, being the longest number, has to be this diagonal. I think the 5 is probably going to be the, let's make that the base. Let's make 6 the height. And let's make each of these 3. Which means the total of the top would be 5 plus 6, which is 11. So we've got a 5 by 6 rectangle, which is going to be 30 centimeters squared. And then we have 2 of the 3 by 7s. No, sorry, 3 by 6s. Triangles. And I say 3 by 6 as 3 is the base, 6 is the height. Which is going to be 18 divided by 2. But remember, we have 2 of them, so we're going to end up doing 9 plus 9. So I'm going to add 18. And get 48 centimeters squared. So that's obviously could vary. And I know this is weird when it's like that, but, you know. Why not try something? Let me know if you have any questions. Message me on Schoology, comment on the video, and I will see you later.